In this video, we're going to set up OpenELEC on a Raspberry Pi and connect it to the MythTV backend we created in the last video. The first thing I want to do is download the Raspberry Pi imager. To do that, I'm going to the internet and I'll search for Raspberry Pi imager. I'll click on the Raspberry Pi software. And we see we can install this with the command sudo apt install rpi-imager. So I'll close this browser and open the command line and type in the command sudo apt install rpi-imager. And the Raspberry Pi imager is now installed. I can close this window and I'll open up the imager here. I'll search for imager and open that up. On the far left, it's asking us what device we have. I have a Raspberry Pi 4, so I'm clicking on that. Now it's asking us what operating system do we want to install on our Raspberry Pi 4. I'm going to scroll down until I see the Media Player OS. Here we see OpenELEC and OSMC. Either one of these will work. I've used OSMC in the past, but this time I'm using OpenELEC. So I'll click on that. And there's one option here, LibreELEC RPI 4. I'll click that and we're set. So we've got the Raspberry Pi device and the Raspberry Pi system. Clicking on choose storage, and there's nothing in there yet because I haven't connected up my micro SD card yet. I have a 16 gigabyte micro SD card sitting in a micro SD card to SD card converter, which is sitting in an SD card to USB converter. So the computer's going to think this is a USB card that I'm uploading to. I'm plugging in the micro USB card USB converter, and Ubuntu finds that right away, and that's what I'm going to select. Clicking next. It's telling me all the data on the micro SD card will be erased. I'm okay with that. I'll click yes. And it needs a password for me to start it. The imager is now putting OpenELEC on my SD card. This may take some time, so I will pause the video while the operating system is being written to the micro SD card. Okay, the Raspberry Pi imager wrote and verified the image on the micro SD card. Now I can remove the micro SD card from the USB converter, and I'm going to place that micro SD card in my Raspberry Pi and power that up. Here we see the LibreELEC logo. It is resizing the partitions and doing the first boot setup. It will reboot in 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. We see Kodi there. Now Kodi is what it's actually going to run to connect to MythTV. So when I say I'm running LibreELEC or OSMC, that's the operating system, but it boots into Kodi, and we can put Kodi on a computer and watch TV from our MythTV backend through Kodi from our computer, just like we're doing here. I apologize for the text looking so bad in my capture device. It is looking nicely on my TV screen. Here, LibreELEC is asking us if we want to continue in English. I do, so I will click Next. And what I'm using here is a wireless USB keyboard with a touchpad connected to my Raspberry Pi. Some TV remotes will work with OpenELEC and OSMC, but the remote for this TV is not recognized by OpenELEC. I'm clicking Next. Now LibreELEC is asking me if we want to change the host name, If you have more than one Raspberry Pi running LibreELEC, you may want to change this name. I'm okay with LibreELEC, so I will leave it alone and click Next. Now LibreELEC is asking us what Wi-Fi we want to connect to. My router is called Outback, so I'll connect to that. And I'll click Enter on Connect and put in my password. We'll give it a moment to connect. And now we see we're online with my router. I'll click Next. We are not going to connect to SSH or Samba at this time. I'll click Next. And then I'll click Next again. Now LibreELEC is all set up. All we need to do now is connect to the MythTV backend. To do that, I'll go down to Add-ons. And then My Add-ons. Here, what I'm looking for is something with PVR. PVR stands for Personal Video Recording. Since I don't see anything here, I'm going to go back up and click on Install from Repository. I'm going into the LibreELEC add-ons. And here we see PVR clients. That's what we want. And looking down the list, I do see an HD Home Run client. But connecting to the HD Home Run client will just connect to our tuner cards. This will not allow us to record TV. We would only be able to watch TV from the HD Home Run tuner cards. So what I really want here is the MythTV PVR client. I'll need to install that. We see it downloading and installing. That goes pretty quick. I'll click Enter again to take me into that. And I need to configure the MythTV PVR client. And what I want to change here is the MythTV backend IP address. And we saw that in the last video. That's going to be 10.0.0.26 because that's the static IP address I gave my MythTV backend. Clicking OK. We need to restart. OK. And here we see we're connected to MythTV. I'm going to press Escape to get me out of here and Escape again. Now I'll go up to TV. And this is looking good. Going into the guide. We have some shows on. Let's go down to the news and see what's going on in the news.
Steps. Turn around and went and
And we have a commercial on this channel. But we see it's working, so that's what counts.
I had no pain.
So OpenELEC is set up on our Raspberry Pi and connected to our MythTV backend. In the next video, we'll look at some basics of working with MythTV and Kodi.